What's on your girlfriend's bookshelf right now? What's in her TBR list? What's in the stack of books by her bedside? Romance novels, romantasy. We're all reading them. Your mom, your bestie, your girlfriend down the street, the guy on the subway. We're all reading them. Let's lean in on that, right? And why not? In today's society, it's so cynical. Why not lean in on something that we all strive for? We all want to be loved and to feel love. So let's lean in on that. Let's look at love. And that's why romance is the hottest selling genre in literature today. It is the hottest thing. And go to those indie bookstores, those cute little romantasy bookstores, and lean in. Love the decor, love the whole situation, because we're all looking for the same thing. In the grand scheme of things, every last person on this earth is seeking love and companionship. True love. That's what we all want. That's what we all desire. So why not lean in and do it with a book? The genre I write, romance and romantasy, is that they're like your grandma's harlequins. These books are not like your grandma's harlequins. Gone are the heaving bosoms and hard plane of man muscle, the Fabios and the ripped bodices. You know, it's funny. I told people I wrote a book, and a romance book, and people from another generation asked, "Oh, is it a bodice ripper?" No, it's not a bodice ripper, but pants get ripped. So, it's a common misconception. And don't get me wrong, those books have their place. They have their place in the set. I bought into those just like everybody else. I went to the grocery store. I found the hottest guy on the cover. If he had a kilt on, oh my gosh, bonus. I read them cover to cover, consumed them. And what I found is that I prefer today's romance writers and how they write. The character development is stronger. The plots are better. The storylines are more intense or more detailed. The world building is amazing and immaculate. These places and people that new romance authors are creating are works of art. And honestly, they rival the greats that we read in college and high school. And honestly, romance should be required reading now. Really, it really should. I did some light research on Norse mythology and Norse mythos, as well as runology. I did like name research and things like that, just to make certain that it sounds believable. But really, I was writing as a romance writer, a stereotypical romance writer. So the research that I've done is the countless hours with my Kindle. Grew up in a small town with flair and unique characters, so that's known knowledge to me. I did a little bit of property law research just so I understand how um, cities own property in the story. And I did a little bit of research about how police officers speak. The hardest scenes for me to write were the love scenes, the more physical scenes. It's surprising after two children and 30 years of marriage and a healthy sex life that I would have trouble writing about what two people do in the dark or the light of day or in the shower. I was really surprised at how hard it was. And for me, that was the least enjoyable part of my writing. I love writing dialogue and snappy comebacks. I love puns, but that's not the time for puns. Now, you can have witty dialogue and you can have snappy comebacks in those moments, but they're few and far between, and you don't want to just rely on that, right? So it was hard. I started um, as explicit as I could feel comfortable with it, and then trimmed back from there and landed somewhere a little softer than some of the things I read. but then I would feel comfortable if someone that knows me in the community read. So sex scenes are the hardest thing in the world to write. I wrote this book for a 10-year-old girl 40 some odd years ago. She moved to a small town. She didn't know anybody. She sat out in her front yard and watched the boys go play baseball. And she saw one boy, and she fell madly in love with him and never told him. She did dumb things like join track. And then he grew up and moved away. She grew up and moved away. She did dumb things. He did dumb things. And then they came back together many years later and fell in love again. So I wrote this book for those people who believe in fate and true love's kiss and love at first sight, and all the Ronnies in the world who spend their days, thinking about fantastical worlds and creatures. This book's for them. This book's for those girls who believe in those things because it can happen. And this book is also for the women who don't believe in that. The pragmatics, the ones who believe that love is work or love is just a chore. Yes, it is work. It is the hardest job I've ever had, to be married to someone for so long and make it work. It is hard work. But who I really wrote this book for is for those dreamers, those people who believe wholeheartedly with their whole soul that there is someone out there in the world for them, waiting to be struck by lightning. Really, that's who these books are for. The dreamers, the Ronnies.